It's Halloween, and today we're going to look at the scarily awful film, Zombeavers. Trust me, this is one that you don't want to see. If you like what I do, and you want to see more of these ghastly, abysmal, godforsaken abominations labeled movies, then consider subscribing, and click the bell to be notified every time I upload a new video. And let me know in the comments what you think. Did I miss something? Is there anything else that you might have noticed? And your overall thoughts on these so-called movies. And let me know what other movies you want me to review next. So we begin the movie with two drivers, and they're transporting toxic waste. But these aren't just any drivers, it's John Mayer and Bill Burr. And what are they doing in a horrible movie like this? When I first saw that, I was like, well, what the hell are they doing there? But anyway, so these two drivers are transporting toxic waste. They're not paying attention, and so Bill Burr's driving and he hits a deer.
Hey man, you see that deer up there?
Yeah, I see.
I don't think you do.
And one of the toxic canisters falls out of the van into the lake, and some beavers go and get poisoned because of the toxic waste. And then there's an animated intro, and it's like, I don't know what is about all these movies, but they all have animated parts, intros or something in the middle or towards the end, or and in case of Lamageddon has the beginning and towards the end. And so yeah, Lamageddon, Killer Piñata, this one, and I'm sure there's other ones that I didn't even think about that have animated sequences. Like, I don't know like why that's the case. That's just something I've noticed, and it's like, is that like a horrible movie trend or low budget thing? I don't know. But they have John Mayer in there, so it can't possibly be low budget. I have no idea. Maybe he just likes horrible garbage movies too. The beavers get poisoned, and that's how the movie begins. So there's three friends, and these three friends are going on a little getaway to a cabin in the middle of the woods where there's a lake and they can go swimming, and so these three friends go swimming, and one of them decides to go partially nude, which once you go swimming nude, you never want to do it with clothes again. But I digress. And so they notice green slime all over the place, and then this weird guy shows up and said, hey, you better watch out, these creatures can be lurking out here, and then you better be safe. And he's kind of a creeper and a weirdo, so they walk away and they head back to the cabin. And they're playing this horrible game of, would you rather have this happen to you or this happen? And it's horrible, awful things that they're talking about. And so they notice a sound outside, and it's their boyfriends that come to surprise them, even though they told them not to come over here. And so they're there talking and whatever, and then one of the girls goes to take a shower and sees one of the beavers, and the beaver attacks her. One of the guys goes into the bathroom and hits the beaver and then kills it, and they put it in a bag and place it outside. Well, the next day, they go outside and see that the beaver from the bag had been taken away, and they're like, oh, well, maybe some animal got it. So they go swimming again, and so they're there in the lake, and one of the girls doesn't want to go in because she's afraid that there could be beavers in there. And why is this guy wearing a beanie in the lake? Like, is that even a hat to keep the sun away? It's like, what's the point of doing that? But anyway, so she goes in there, but just as you thought, the beaver goes and bites off the foot of one of these guys, and so now there's a whole commotion going on, and another beaver scratches another guy, and they go on to like the little raft, and then their beavers are surrounding them and all that, and they do the thing that this got me mad. They get the dog and they throw it into the water, and the beavers eat this dog, and it's like, that's these bastards, and it's just like, what is it about horror movies that always has stupid, obnoxious people in it? And it's just like, just the whole movie, they're annoying and stupid. And every horror movie has annoying and stupid people. And it's like, the business people exist, athletes exist, musicians exist, and there's so many other kinds of things that could happen to other people. But there's always a stupid, obnoxious people. And it's like, so these stupid ass people, they throw the dog into the water, eats the dog, and so then they swim away, and then they get back to safety in their cabin. So they're in the cabin right there, and they're talking about what's going on. And in this scene, it is revealed that one of the friends cheated on her boyfriend with another guy in the group, and so this whole commotion happens. And at the same time, see, that's what I'm saying, like, they're all just bad people, most of them at least. But also, the guy that got his foot eaten off is laying in the sofa with the foot in a Ziploc bag with ice, and it's just like, go to the damn hospital, what are you doing there? Anyway, so they're there, and the beavers show up, and they surround the house, and then so now the beavers are coming to attack them, and they're trying to fight them off, and it's, this whole situation happens. So three people decide to leave. A couple and this other guy go and join them to go look for help, and so they're driving, and then A tree falls and one of the guys die, and so then that weird guy from the beginning comes to help them out and then transport them back to the house there. Meanwhile, back at the cabin, one of the girls then starts transforming into a zombie beaver, and it's just like, well, I didn't expect that. I mean, I guess I should have. It's called Zombeavers, but what can I expect from a movie called Zombeavers? But anyways, and so she starts attacking the other girl, and then the guy comes and hits her from behind, and then, well, you know, she gets knocked out. Yeah, so guess what they do next? Do they go look for help? Do they try to go and drive away? Do they try to run away on foot? Do they try to call anybody? Guess what they do? Did you guess having sex? Well, then you win, because that's exactly what they do. So they attempt to start having sex. Meanwhile, this whole situation is happening, and then everybody's being killed off by the beavers. And so the beaver goes and starts chewing on his crotch. But I mean, really, what the hell are you gonna expect? Who in the hell in the right mind is going to attempt to have sex in the middle of a situation like this? I mean, but what do you expect? And stupid ass movies like this that don't make any sense, that are made with 5 cents budget, with a bunch of people that don't know how to act, and with no experience, but yet somehow can get John Mayer in it. I don't know. It's like it's written by Teletubbies. I don't understand like who comes up with these situations, you know. But anyways, and she's reunited with one of the other girls, and they start walking on foot to try to reach help or civilization to see maybe, you know, if somebody can help them. Well, anyways, the other girl turns to the friend and says, you got bitten, you're gonna turn into a beaver and all that, and she's holding up the gun, but before she can do anything, she herself is the one that turns into the beaver. Well, anyways, so she's walking down the road, and you see again John Mayer and Bill Burr driving the van. It's like, hey, are you paying attention to the road?
Hey, you see that girl?
Yeah, I see her.
I trust you.
That's the end of her. Yeah, that's where it ends. So she got hit by the van, and it's like, well, yeah, I guess. So that's our end. And then there's a bunch of outtakes and stuff at the end, and so yeah, that's Zombeavers, and it's exactly how you expected it to be. A horrible, stupid, cheesy, outrageous, written by Teletubbies with no common sense movie. And, you know, it's like, I don't know, you know, I can see why it's rated so low on IMDb, and it's just like, yeah, it definitely deserves that rating. So yeah, it's completamente basura, like complete trash. And so it's like, I don't know how this was made, but it was made. So there you go. So now we're going to review this movie based on its form, the elements, the quality factor, and the entertainment factor. Is it realistic? Realistic meaning, do the characters behave in a believable fashion? And most of the time, I say half the time they do, half the time they don't. It's not as bad as Killer Piñata or one of these other movies where in every instance they behave in an unbelievable way, but it is still pretty bad. And the worst part of it is when the guy's foot gets eaten off and he's just there and he's not even like too much in shock or in pain or anything. His foot is completely eaten off, chewed off, and there's no foot. And yet he's laying there like, you know, pretty much okay. And then later on he's laying on the sofa with the foot in the bag. So because of that, we have to discount the point because that's not realistic, so we had to discount the point. Is it coherent? Yeah, well, I'd say pretty much. It's not as bad or incoherent mess like the way Lamageddon is. It's pretty solid, so even if it's just a little bit solid, I'd say it's okay. Yeah, is it complex? No, that's not in any way, technically or story-wise, a character, no, it's not. Is it original? Well, no, it's not, again, because it takes place in the lake, in the cabin in the middle of nowhere, and it's like, how many movies have we seen like that? Friday the 13th, you know, so a million of them. So it's like, no, it's not. The direction, I guess it's okay. It seems like sometimes the actors didn't know how to react to something. There are many ways to direct, but a good way to have an actor react to something in a more believable way is to have them react to something that is believable. So if their throat is on fire because they drank magma, well, just tell the actor, imagine drinking soup that's extremely boiling and you gulped it all like that in one sip, in one gulp. It's something like that. You can imagine something like that, because who hasn't eaten soup or drank liquid or tea, whatever, that has been very hot, and they're like, oh. An example, there are different ways, but that's an example. You don't want to use action words like, oh, you are angry, you are mad, or you are in trouble. You don't want to do that, because there's so many ways to interpret that. What you want to do is just have them imagine how it'd be like to be in a situation that is realistic. That's one way to do it. There are a lot of ways, but I feel like that's one way that even people that are beginners can use that technique to try to get a more believable performance out of the actors. But in many movies, just like in this one, now these low budget ones, it seems like they just don't know what they want to do. So there's a lot of scenes where it's like they react in a way it's like, well, nobody in real life is going to do that. And again, I go back to the foot situation. The guy's foot is eaten off completely clean, and he's there, and it's not even too much in distress or anything. So, and it's not because he's in shock, he's just laying there. So it's like, okay, well, we got a discount from there. And the writing is horrible. I mean, what can you expect? But the people are such horrible people, and it's like, they're completely uncaring friends. They do all these, like, they're just horrible people, and it's just like one comment said on IMDb, these horrible people leave you rooting for the Beavers, and it's like, yes, you do. These people are horrible, and it's like, yeah, go Beavers, And so yeah, at the end of the movie, it's like, oh yeah. The writing is fairly weak, and it's like it's generic. Some of the dialogue's really horrible, and they're just really obnoxious. Like, I don't know, why do these characters in these movies have to be such horrible, obnoxious, stupid people? How come they can't be just some normal people, or even people that are genuinely likable? And things like this, you want the Beavers to kill off everybody, like what comment was saying, because they're horrible people, and it's like, well, then that's not the way the movie's supposed to be. You got a problem. But anyway, so the writing's horrible, so we gotta take off a point there. The editing, yeah, it was fine. I mean, I didn't notice any issue. There might be one. I didn't notice one. So I guess it's okay. It's average. It's not amazing, but it's average. The sound also average. Okay, not too bad. The music also average, not too bad. The special effects, well, we got a discount from there because the puppets for the beavers are absolutely stupid. You can see the puppeteer moving the beaver like this, and it's like, yeah, it's supposed to be a campy movie and everything, and I'm glad it's like that. It's supposed to be stupid like that. That's exactly what I want. So we got this kind of point because that's exactly how it's supposed to be. And the story and plot, again, the story is very weak and basic, and it's seen a million thousand times. And it's like, again, Friday the 13th, group of teenagers are in the camp there, and they get, killed off. Or, so it just happens so many times, and there's just nothing new or different about it. And it's like a Llamageddon. It's not in a camp, but it's like they're in a house in the middle of nowhere in a llama. So it's just like, what is the difference here? And it's not like in Rubber, for example, where it's like the tire is going around, yes, killing people, but there's an audience watching this movie unfold, and so it's like, okay, well, that's original, that's new. I haven't seen something like that. Maybe there is, but I haven't seen something like that. And so that was pretty good. So no, story and plot are weak, so we got a discount. The tone, the pacing, yeah, they were okay. Oh, not too bad. And now for the mise en scène, everything we see in front of the camera, everything in the frame, the lighting, it could be better. It's not as bad as other ones like Killer Piñata, but it could be better. And it's like, with the budget this had, to have John Mayer in the movie, it's like, okay, yeah, we got a discount from there. Cinematography also, it just looks average. And, knowing that they had a budget, it's just, yeah, it could look better, and it doesn't. It just looks kind of average, uninspired, and it doesn't look as bad, again, like Killer Piñata, but it shouldn't look as Killer Piñata. Killer Piñata had a very low budget. This has a little bit more budget, so it shouldn't look like that. So we got a discount from there. Costumes, yeah, they're okay. The props, I guess they're also okay. The setting was okay. I mean, it was fine. It had some good production value because of the cabin, but the thing is that the setting, I think, also works against it because it's just like Friday the 13th and a bunch of other movies. So even though it was better than like having it be in the middle of the forest with, with obviously where you spend no money. The setting was, it could be better, but we got a discount from there. The acting's not great. It's like they're inexperienced, they're overacting, underacting, acting not realistically. It's horrible, or basura, but that's what you want. So yes, we got a discount at the point happily. And the makeup, I guess it's okay. I mean, it's fine. Not the creature effects; those are horrible, as we discussed. But makeup was fine. The quality factor, it was fine. It could be better, but at least it was better than all the other ones we discussed. Like Lamageddon and Killer Piñata and a bunch of other ones. And camp, well, it was very campy, so we gotta give it points there. But it could be even campier. But it was good enough. Yeah, it was very campy, and it was quite enjoyable because of that. So this is a real B movie. Well, not even. It's probably a C movie. It's very bad, and you think it'd be better because they have a higher budget, but it's not. It's garbage. So I recommend it entirely. After discounting other points, the rating comes out to 5.75, but we'll round it up to 6 to make it easier. Esta película es completamente diarrea. Horrible, horrible, horrible. But yeah, it's fun, and I recommend it. And the stupidest, most insane things happen in this movie, but then again, they also happen in other movies, like Killer Piñata. There's something about all these movies that are just so bad and they're made so horrible and so awful that I can't wrap my head around it. But I need constant consumption of these kinds of horrible movies because they give me the life that I need. Every night when I wake up, I have to have my nightly dose of abhorrent, horrendously appalling, atrocious movies of this sort. I live and I thrive and I gain so much satisfaction of watching garbage like this because I'm a true masochist. So I cannot go on without consuming these types of movies. Yet, at the same time, it is a curse because I cannot escape these movies. Everywhere I go, I see horrible garbage like this. I turn to the left, there's Lamageddon. I turn to the right, there's Killer Piñatas. But that is a sacrifice I'm willing to make sure that you don't have to experience that pain as well. So anyways, that's Zombeavers. It's horrendous, it's atrocious, it's everything you can think of. And I recommend it, if you like to feel the pain. Well, that's it for now, and I'll see you later.